Welcome back for another video. Next up in the pre-season series, we're going to be taking a look at your FPL teams. Got a little bit creative with the graphics for this one, if you're watching anyway. Some of you won't know this, but all my videos also get uploaded on Spotify if you'd rather just listen. Out of interest, what's everyone's routine for watching FPL content? Like, is it on your lunch break or on the way to work, commuting? A few people have commented this pre-season saying they always watch these on the toilet, so thank you for that. Anyway, I've handpicked a variety of drafts. We've all got blind spots as much as we think we don't, so what have others seen that we've not? Fantasy Football Scout have made a Rate My Team tool as well. You just upload a screenshot of your team and it will rate it for you. Really cool. I'll put a link in the description. It's free, by the way, so you can get yours rated with that link there. And I recommend checking out the members tools as well. I'm a member for 9 years myself. It's about £4 a month. That's in the description as well. I'll be sharing my updated team tomorrow as well, so make sure you're subscribed for that. After letting the dust settle and taking it all in, there's quite a lot of changes to the team. First draft is from FPL OT. His lineup is Donnarumma, Colwill, Williams, Mosquera, Shaw, Bruno, and Bumo and Dye, Semenyo, João Pedro and Haaland. On the bench, Lecons, Matteo, Joseph, Kitchen and Hal. I asked for manager thoughts from each manager as well, and OT said Donnarumma feels like the safest route into the City defence. I would preferably want a cheaper goalkeeper. And Dye, the other player who I'm happy to change, I'm tempted by a punt on Ungamoa. So just on the City defence, Donnarumma undeniably the safest route. He's going to start every game. However, I think there's a good chance Núñez and Gay are safe long-term picks as well. Slight question mark over Gay for Game Week 1. Like, Vardiol could play left centre back, or maybe he goes left back and O'Reilly is the one that sits Game Week 1 out, and Eight Norwich still an option in left back as well. If we get any confidence in them over pre-season, I think they'll potentially be well worth the extra 0.5 mil for that open play threat, Núñez and Gay. Núñez started 32 games last season, registered 5 double-digit returns, and he returned in 17 out of 32 games, including a couple of games which were just DEFCON only. He averaged 5.1 points per game last season. Only Gabriel averaged more among defenders, and 5.1 is actually the same per match as Saka, Rice, Gibbs White and João Pedro. Núñez averaged 4.5 per game, Donnarumma 4.0 per game. He was unbelievable, and obviously half the season was at Palace, but he could end up a fantastic pick even for 6 mil. Easier said than done to find that 0.5 mil though. João Cunha is someone that I'm monitoring. He's been involved in Forest pre-season, new manager, and he could be set to start in Glasner's back three. He's 0.5 mil cheaper than Williams. And you mentioned Ungamoa, I think he's just way too risky Game Week 1. Like, it's probably going to be Gakpo starting left wing, as much as Liverpool fans would rather it's a teenager. And you mentioned as well you want a cheaper goalkeeper. I did a bit of analysis on the best 4.5 mil keepers in the bargain players video, so make sure you watch that if you haven't. And lastly, the hope is that if Arsenal don't sign a right centre back, then Mosquera is going to be a really good option for 5.5 mil. Likely nailed until Saliba's return, which is expected to be months. I love the double Man United midfield as well. Like, their first 2 fixtures are unbelievable. And Bumo was frustrating at times last season, but you have to try and come back with kind of a clean slate when it's a new FPL season. A lot can change, and there's going to be so many players that surprise us from the get-go. And Bumo and Cunha could definitely be those players, and paired with Bruno as well, there's always the potential of getting a double return, like one assists the other, which is massive upside, big green arrows. Just a word of warning on Kitching. He could be the one most likely to give game time to their new signing, Amenda. Thomas and Van White could be the better commentary picks. Really strong team though, nice work. Next up, we've got a team from Sean. His team is Kinski, Mosquera, Shaw, Ballard, Bruno captain, Szoboszlai, Palmer, Lefay, Gibbs White, Haaland and Calvert-Lewin. And on the bench, Dubravka, Diop, Van Wyk and Kuziasare. Sean says, I went all out on pen takers. I have enough faith in the new 4 mil defenders to hold their own and rotate in with Shaw and Ballard. Nice differentials with easy ability to haul with goal, DEFCON and clean sheets. And if Sunderland keep Xhaka, it could be a great pick. So he squeezed in 3 premiums. He's got Haaland, Bruno and Palmer as a trio, which honestly could work because there is a lot of generous prices this season. That does make it doable. Lefay's got some good opening fixtures. I had him last season. He's a good player and he just scored against Liverpool actually in pre-season. My main critique here would be the bench. I know you said you got faith in the 4 mil defenders, but I think 2 4 mil defenders is very risky to run with. Like, if you have a bad fixture and you're starting 11, there's pretty few occasions you'd realistically want to be starting either of the 4 defenders, let alone if something else happens, like let's say you get an unexpected injury. So the major downside is the team just isn't quite robust enough for my liking. But that is potentially 6, possibly 7 pen takers in the starting 11, which is really strong. Being a penalty taker is a very overlooked thing in FPL, broadly speaking. Let's actually just look at the numbers. So last season there were 92 penalties. The most ever was the 2021 season. There was 125. The lowest was 83 2 years ago. So lots of pens every year. On average, over the last 6 seasons, there's been 0.26 penalties per game. So it's basically 1 every 4 games, isn't it? 0.25 pens per game would be 1 every 4. There's 10 matches every game week, and therefore in a game week you can expect on average 2 or 3 awarded. You follow me so far? So the approximate math checks out as follows. If you have 5 penalty takers in your team, which is probably the most common amount I think teams have got, you've got just under a 50% chance of having a penalty in your team every game week, and it's just over 50% if you've got 6 takers. Okay, but who's on penalties? Here's a complete list, all 20 teams, the list of penalty takers in order. Maybe 1 or 2 contentious ones, like it could be Jokeris over Saka, but largely speaking, this list is the penalty takers, first to last, most likely to take when one's awarded. Pause and rewind if you need to have a proper look at that list. We'll move on to the next team. Well, this next one is interesting, isn't it? It's FPL Fly. This team is either absolutely genius or he has lost the plot. What do you think? So it's Donnarumma, Shaw, Davis, Calafiori, Cherki, Bruno, Semenyo and Dye, Thiago, João Pedro and Watkins. And on the bench, Walton and Bumo, Mosquera and Williams. No Haaland. And the plan is to bench boost Game Week 1. He says, I'm bench boosting Game Week 1, and Bumo might not be a lock, but I fancy Maguire against his old team. Now on a bench boost, you need 15 out of 15 to play, obviously. On paper, they're basically all nailed in this team here, but maybe Cherki could be a potential risk. Semenyo is also in the first draft we looked at as well, and I will say he is the one player at the very top of the list of players I want that I can't quite fit in a satisfactory way in my team. Like, he's a fitness monster, 90 basically every game. He can play several positions. I think 8.5 million is way cheaper than I expected. This could be one of those situations, we've had it many times over the years, like, you know, Sterling, Saka, but they have a long run in the team. They start off like 7 mil, they have a good year, the next season 8.5 million, another good year, next season 10 million. Then suddenly they're 11 million, you're thinking, I can't believe they used to be 8.5 mil. I wouldn't go as far as captaining him though, I'd go Bruno captain if you go no Haaland. If you refuse to entertain no Haaland, but you quite like the idea of the Game Week 1 bench boost, we've got one more here from Chewy FPL, and he says, I'm going for a more left field bench boost 1 free hit 3 strategy. Free hit 3 allows me to take risks with double Arsenal defence and triple Chelsea, and it's also a good free hit week in general with City, Liverpool and Aston Villa facing promoted teams. I don't want to make the bench boost too detrimental long term, I just want to get it out of the way. Quite a different team as well, which really does show the diversity of picks this season. So the team is Kinski, Mosquera, Maguire, Calafiori, Palestra, Palmer, Cunha and Dye, and Bumo, João Pedro and Haaland. So bench boosting for Bruggen, Igor Jesus, Sangare and Diop. Palestra could be set to be Alonso's first choice right wing back. Obviously it's a really physically demanding position, and we might see James used as a right centre back in a back 3 rather than right wing back. So he sacrificed Bruno rather than Haaland to spread the funds around, which I like a lot more, especially given he's still got Cunha and Mbeumo for very good Man United coverage. So let's talk about the pros and cons of the Game Week 1 bench boost. Well, it's the only chance that we effectively ever get to play 2 chips at once, because it's like wildcarding directly into a bench boost, isn't it? Because you've got unlimited transfers right now. During the season, there's always that slight risk that you wildcard with the aim to bench boost the next week or 2 weeks later and something goes wrong. It happened to many managers last season. Another major benefit to the Game Week 1 bench boost is it's out of the way and you no longer need as much budget used up on your bench, if that makes sense. Whereas, those that bench boost later are going to have to shift some funds to the bench for that 1 week, and we could be talking, Game Week 10 that they do that. And it's got no guarantee of even going well. And more money in your bench means a potentially weakened starting 11. Like last season, I personally wasn't a fan of the Game Week 1 bench boost because of how the fixtures lined up and the budget picks. but I'd have to say this season has got way more potential. Is anyone else considering it? Right, last one. So it's possibly unnamed and says, current draft so far, I'm going big at the back with 4 premiums. Haaland, Palmer, Bruno, Gabriel, and I'm planning to wildcard out of that in Game Week 4. They said it couldn't be done, the Formium. Gabriel, Palmer, Bruno, and Haaland. I'll get straight to the point here. This team is way too inflexible. Like, you're going to be lucky to get 1 point from that bench in any given week. And one of the most important aspects, I mentioned the word earlier, of FPL is building a robust squad. Your team needs to be robust. Things can and will go wrong. Like, if you're set up well to take on those unforeseen circumstances and situations, you will come out on top long term. You know, just for example, you could have Coyote randomly miss out and Andrews doesn't share it in his press conference. Shaw pulls his hamstring in the warm-up. You're down to 9 men basically before the season's even begun. And booking in a Game Week 4 wildcard is too inflexible as well. It's the most powerful chip in the game, and I would advise everyone to keep the wildcard plan open. I would remove one of the premiums and just redistribute the money around. There were quite a few drafts with the likes of Saka, Pedro Porro and Rice, which I decided not to include. I highly recommend you watch my players to avoid video if you've not seen it, which covers why you shouldn't own any of those players. That'll be on screen now, and also the bargain players video. Hit subscribe. Tomorrow I'll be sharing my new FPL team with you, and there's a link below to become a Scout member and also to check out the free Rate My Team tool. See you soon for the next one.